To master the art of ignoring is to wield a blade sharper than any sword. In the heart of Edo, long ago, there lived a samurai named Kenshiro, a man known not for his feats in battle, but for his silence in the face of scorn. His legend begins not with a clash of steel, but with a whisper in the wind, an insult that could cut deeper than any weapon. Once upon a time, Kenshiro walked the streets of his village, his simple peasant kimono trailing gently over the moss-covered steens. He was not a lord, nor a famed warrior, but a humble retainer, quiet, reserved, and contemplative. Every day, he trained alone in the pale morning light, practicing the art of sword and spirit beneath the ancient cherry trees. The villagers watched him with admiration, but also with envy. For Kenshiro, peace was his armor and focus his shield. Yet beneath this calm exterior, there lingered a wound, a scar from words, not swords. Every day, as Kenshiro went about his duties, there was one merchant in the village, Saburo, whose tongue was as sharp as a razor. Saburo mocked Kenshiro's humble origins, his plain attire, his solitary ways. "A samurai who eats rice like a peasant," he jeered, loud enough for the crowd to hear. Kenshiro felt the sting of these words in his chest. Sometimes he clenched his fists, feeling the urge to respond, to defend his honor. But instead, he turned away, letting silence settle where anger might have flared. The insults did not cease. They grew in number and venom, echoing through the alleys and marketplaces. Kenshiro's friends urged him to retaliate. "You are samurai," they insisted. "Show Saburo your strength." Yet Kenshiro hesitated. He remembered the teachings of his old mentor, Master Yamada, a sage whose wisdom was as deep as the still ponds of the mountain. Yamada had once said, "To be disturbed by the bark of a dog is to forget you are the master of your own mind." Until one day, the Festival of Lanterns arrived, a night when the entire village gathered to celebrate beneath the glowing orbs. Kenshiro walked through the crowd, the air thick with laughter and anticipation. Suddenly, Saburo stood before him, a smirk on his face, a crowd at his back. "Tell us, Kenshiro," he said, his voice dripping with disdain. "What does a samurai who cannot defend his honor truly stand for?" The crowd turned, waiting for Kenshiro's reply. The moment hung heavy, the lanterns flickering, the night air tense. Kenshiro felt his heart race, his face flush with shame and anger. All eyes were upon him. This was the moment where he could reclaim his dignity or lose it forever. Because of that, Kenshiro closed his eyes and remembered his mentor's words. He breathed deeply, feeling the cool night air fill his lungs. He listened, not to the jeers, but to the silence beneath them. In that silence, he found a calm so profound it was like the surface of a mountain lake at dawn. When he opened his eyes, Kenshiro met Saburo's gaze, not with fury, but with gentle curiosity. He spoke quietly. "Saburo, you offer me your words, yet I am not obliged to carry them." The crowd fell silent, puzzled. Kenshiro continued, "When someone offers you a gift, and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" Saburo scoffed. "It belongs to the one who offered it." Kenshiro nodded. "So it is, with insults." The crowd murmured, slowly grasping the meaning. Saburo, however, grew red with frustration. He tried again, hurling more barbs, each one sharper and more desperate. Yet Kenshiro stood unmoved, his expression serene, his posture relaxed as the gentle bend of a willow in the wind. The villagers watched, sensing a shift, a subtle, profound power that did not come from a raised sword, but from a lowered voice. Saburo's words, once mighty, now seemed to echo back on him, hollow and weightless. For every insult he threw, Kenshiro gave nothing in return. No anger, no shame, no defense. In the face of this silence, Saburo faltered, eventually lowering his gaze. The crowd, once hungry for conflict, found themselves hushed, contemplative, until finally, Master Yamada, now an old man but still sharp in spirit, stepped forward. He placed a gentle hand on Kenshiro's shoulder and addressed the village. In the way of the samurai, victory is not always the defeat of one's opponent. Sometimes it is the defeat of one's own pride. Kenshiro has shown us the true art of ignoring, the discipline to let go, the strength to remain unmoved, the wisdom to see that not every battle is worth fighting. The night air softened, and the lantern swayed gently, as if nodding in agreement. The crowd dispersed, each person carrying away a silent lesson. Saburo slunk away, defeated not by Kenshiro's sword, but by his serenity. And the lesson is this: the art of ignoring is not weakness, but mastery. To ignore is not to escape, but to choose. In the words of the Stoics, we cannot control what others say or do, but we can always choose our response. Kenshiro's silence was not emptiness, but fullness, an inner wellspring of peace that could not be poisoned by insult. The samurai's true power lay not in his blade, but in his refusal to be ruled by the smallness of others. How often in our own lives do we carry the weight of words meant to wound? How many times have we let insults become burdens, dragging us down, shaping our days? Kenshiro's story invites us to ask, what would happen if, just once, we chose not to pick up the stone? If we left the gift of insult unclaimed, letting it return to the sender? There will always be those who bark at our heels, who seek to provoke, to draw us into petty wars. But the wellspring of true strength lies in our ability to walk on, untroubled, our hearts as clear and calm as a mountain lake. Ignoring is not indifference, it is discipline. It is the art of choosing which battles are worthy of our spirit and which are best left to silence. If you have ever struggled to ignore the words of others, if you have felt the sting of insult and the urge to retaliate, know that you are not alone. Kenshiro's journey is your journey. The next time you are offered the gift of insult, remember, you are free to leave it behind. Peace is found not in fighting every battle, but in mastering the art of letting go. Share your story in the comments below. What insults have you left unclaimed? How did it change you? And if you wish to walk further on this path of wisdom, join us for the next journey. The art of ignoring is only the beginning.